very pro, active, and stands for innovation. And rightly, he is holding a very, very important ministry to guide Telangana to future horizons. Thank you, sir, for gracing this occasion. And all the dignitaries on the dais, Shekhar Garu, Gautam Garu, Shekhar Reddy Garu, and other important people on the dais, all the innovators and participants in media. A very, very good morning to you. This summit by you people, CII, could not have come at a better occasion. Exactly aligning with the thought process and vision of the new government that's in the state of Telangana. Master Plan 2050 for Telangana is a theme Honorable CM has been and mentioning all over in London when he is meeting different business delegations. In fact, when we are talking to him, he also holds the urban development portfolio. He asked us to develop a template first and put it before various thought forums such as this. And then this plan should be for 2050. Honorable Minister also was talking to me that we should develop this. Even when you are reimagining Musi riverfront, it will be of that kind of a scale, 2050 kind of a scale. So that next 35 years, next 30 years, we should be able to sustain the city's growth and should be the focal point of city's growth, Musi. So before getting into those details of Musi, I'd like to just speak a little about, because it being a keynote address, I put a huge responsibility on me that should I give it to Sridhar Babu sir. He's the man who should speak of keynote address. Anyway, let me detail a few things. I think human beings have an innate knack of destroying nature. If you look into all the river civilizations, let it be Nile, let it be Indus, let it be Thames, any river you take, we have the innate knack of, out of our own tension to grow or of urge to grow, we spoil things, we get back, and then try to reinvent them, clean them. In Telugu, if you have to say, Chetal Kalnaka Akulu Pattukuntuntam. This has been our growth story. But we've been successful in that in the sense that we make mistakes, we look back into our mistakes, we have the greater wisdom of understanding, need to reinvent those things and clean up those things. If you look into any rivers across Europe, civilizations which have been 2,000 years old, 500 years old, urban cities which are, urban areas which are about 500 years old. Last 150 years, they have recovered their rivers and they become, focal points for their growth. You can look at in China. Honorable Minister was mentioning about Jeddah while we were coming, how beautifully they have made and all those things. So it's not just limited to rivers which you have polluted, which you have recovered and which make them a very clean rivers, which you are going to do in Musi also. It's also true with our industrial areas. It's also true with our industrial techniques, technologies. From coal-based, gas-based to we are going to green-based kind of energies, hydrogen fuel-based energies. So when you're talking about 2050 vision, you're essentially talking about how can you reimagine cities so that they'll be sustainable for future generations. In COP27, there is a concept called SURGE, Sustainable Urban Resilience for Next Generation. It's called a SURGE concept. This concept imagines and urges all the COP countries, they need to have several components in their urban growth. Now, essentially, a country's development, whether you like it or not, it is a question of how competitive your cities are, how competitive they are in their knowledge base, their social infrastructure, as Mr. Shekhar Reddy was mentioning, how to attract the talent, how to retain the talent in your city. Within countries, cities are competing. Across the world, cities are competing. It's apparently, if you look into cities like Vienna, London, some of the old cities, some new cities are emerging in countries like China, South Korea. They are the emerging countries, they have emerged countries. These are the cities that are growing. Financial centers which were known for their resilience have been going through difficult phases now. And new financial centers are emerging. A new financial center as a city can emerge if you have a talent pool, if you have finance as a key, if you have infrastructure as a foundation. So what kind of infrastructure you should have? About 20 years back, you would have utilized all those Portland cements, constructed everything on concrete. No, that's not the anymore story. If you look into one of the templates kept outside in riverfront development, phyto remediation is the key to bring out your river so that it has a less carbon footprint. The technologies you are bringing to construct our cities have to be green, which IGBC is doing here under the aegis of Mr. Shekhar Reddy. We are doing a little bit of that and we are improving a lot. And we should have knowledge-based cities so that our youth as well as aging youth also has to equip their skills. It's a time of AI, ML, artificial intelligence, machine learning. When I was preparing for civil service about 27 years ago, I used to read in books that artificial intelligence, machine learning is going to decimate job growth for human beings. We haven't seen that so far. But if you look into ChatGPT 3.0, ChatGPT 4.0 and all that, I think 10 years down the line, right now it is on our front, AI can take away jobs like anything. Robotics, AI, the way DNA technologies are coming, biotechnologies are coming, bioengineering, this can exclusively remove any kind of a job, any kind of a paper on a Kishore or Mr. Sridhar Babu Garu. You ask ChatGPT, it will give in a jiffy. So when you are looking into those technologies, we have to reimagine what kind of AI technologies we are going to have. Fortunately, our government, led by our CM Revanth Reddy Garu, he has been talking about, sir, about AI in Davos as well as in London. AI is a very, very focused area for him, for the government. And also, Honorable CM was mentioning when he met UK parliamentarians in one of the meetings, is the need for skilling the youth, basically. We have a demographic dividend. We are able to harness a bit of it. But demographic dividend, which has 35% of youth available in our country with us, which is the number one anywhere in the world, unless you skill them, they will not be able to make good use of their youth and their energies. So one thing he was talking about is about how to make skilled universities across rural and urban Telangana so that youth can be trained and they can get into better placements, they can be able to utilize their knowledge and get their kind of earnings, their livelihoods will be much better, country and the state will get benefited of that. Right now, we have, as CM says, we have diplomas in some of these technologies, diploma in some computer engineering and all that, but these are not able to fetch them good salaries, good jobs actually. So there is a thinking in government how to make this diploma into a graduate kind of a program. So Honorable CM is, in talks with the government, talks with the London, King's College, Oxford University, some of the universities across the world should have partnerships to set up, skill centers, skilled universities here to make our youth good in, frontier technologies in IT and AI and all that. So one is that you need to have a, knowledge-based society and ever increasing skills of the youth and, people so that they'll be able to maybe one step ahead of AI. What AI can't do, human beings should be able to do. I think this is one very, very, very important kind of a thing. When you talk of a resilience of a city, the SUD says that sustainable urban resilience for future generations. What do you mean by resilience? Resilience is what we have shown during the COVID. When COVID struck India, there was a lot of